I give this movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a solid 10 out of 10. It is great. And I give the sequel Across the Spider-Verse called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse a 10 out of 10 too. I'm reviewing both in this one video. Why I give both the first and the sequel a 10 out of 10. Because I love Miles, this version of Miles that this movie portrays. He is as funny, as complex, and as likable, and as relatable as Miles Morales is from the Ultimate Comics, where he debuted in. I looked at some of his first two his earlier comics, and I thought they were awesome. He's the only Spider-Man comics I've looked at besides Peter Parker that I remember right now. Yeah, that I recall, if I got that right. I recall. So yeah, I like the radical reimagining of his origin story and bringing the multiverse into it. That's a very different reimagining of his origin story than what's in the comics. Ultimate Comics, how it plays out in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics that he's based off of. Miles Morales based off the Ultimate, his Ultimate Spider-Man run takes place in the Ultimate Universe, the old Ultimate Universe, not the new one. That relaunched everything was, I think it was this year. Or last. I can't remember right now. I'm stuck. Confused right now. So anyway. I really like how it changes a lot from the comics when it comes to the origin story. Because in the origin story of the comic, the spider that bites Miles is a different spider, but also, but this is a different hybrid of a spider. It's a different type of spider, I guess. It's explained by it's explained in the comics but in the movie, the spider that bites Miles is a Spider-Man from a different dimension in the multiverse of. We find that in a sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. In Miles' story, we find out also that spider that bit Miles in the first installment wasn't supposed to bite him, probably. Ever. This, like, the Spider-Man that saved him in that timeline that led him to him becoming Spider-Man and led to his Peter dying on his Earth was not supposed to happen. And just a little freak accident mistake of him becoming Spider-Man. As in, we find this out that he wasn't really actually supposed to be a hero. He wasn't supposed to be around or alive and well. And we find that out by explained from Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man from 2099, in the movie of Across the Spider-Verse. And which is a nice turn of, I thought it was pretty cool turn of events, and that's I thought that was an interesting turn of events, and that's why probably why Miguel doesn't trust Miles to be Spider-Man, or nobody trusts Miles to be Spider-Man to be Spider-Man, and it seems like nobody wants him to. It seems like in Across Spider-Man nobody trusts Miles about him being Spider-Man, because the whole Miles being Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man was a freak accident, and there's no really telling what Miles is. So basically, it's kind of a might have. So it's kind of a little different than it is in the comics, was how it plays out, because they bring all this history that was never in the original comic lore into these movies and making a lore of them all. Is pretty cool, I liked. And I like that they bring Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and in the picture and bring him in and have him cameo in the movie. For his timeline cameo in the movie. From his time events in the Amazing Spider-Man runs. And I like the story it tells us, Miles. All the story is, the story it tells us, Miles, in both films, and how they both connect. And Miles has been Spider-Man for a year and a half in the sequel at that point. Or 2 years or something like that. I can't remember, somewhere around, yeah. So he's been, that's how long he's been Spider-Man now in the sequel. So, when we introduced to Miles, after we're introduced to Gwen, we introduced him just on his daily routine as Spider-Man. Helping out the neighborhood, being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I really like Miles more in the sequel, even more. And I think he ended up being my favorite part of Spider-Man, the sequel. Definitely, I ended up like just loving him more than I loved him in the first one, Miles. So I think, therefore, I thought the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a better movie. For my first impersonations versus from my first impersonation of seeing that sequel, Across the Spider-Verse, versus I only seen the movie one time versus all the other times I've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I originally think I like the Across the Spider-Verse more, but I was thinking of how I had certain problems with them. The more I was thinking about, but the more I was thinking about, I was like, not sure. because I really like Into the Spider-Verse, so I'm not really sure which one I like that I like more as time goes on. I think the very tied for Spider-Man movie I like more. But if I had to pick, I think I would pick I think I would pick the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse. And I'm really dying to see the third installment to Miles' story and how it will wrap up. Whether it wrap up in Miles' favor or blow up all in his face and his for how the story went. I don't know if because like Across the Spider-Verse is kind of a two-part. It kind of ends on a abrupt note because there's things at stake here. There's the multiverse and Miles destroying the multiverse due to saving his own dad. Over a slight possibility if he does save his dad and succeeds. And he might also doom the multiverse and break canon something similar that or something similar to the event that Miguel O'Hara did that's explained by Miguel O'Hara through visuals in this movie. And so I enjoyed this movie a lot. In both movies a lot. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I enjoyed as much as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies. With Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and The Amazing Spider-Man. I give a 10 out of 10 both movies. Including the Spider-Verse movies. I give a 10 out of 10. And I hope that I really hope that I don't know. I really like how like the movie ends on like really high stakes. Like we see Spot arrive to Harlem to kill his dad supposedly. Ari arrived back to Miles' dimension to kill his dad, and was said to happen in 2 days. So probably Miguel lied. Spider-Man 2999, because he said like it happened in 2 days. Is before 2 days, like supposedly. I'm guessing by the time the movie ends, at this point on in time frame the movie, and Miguel Spider-Man 2999 said that his dad dies in 2 days when he gets killed by the Spot, and he's already back into Miles' dimension. Miles dad goes supposedly out to look for Miles. Well, Miles literally tied up by his evil doppelganger counterpart from somewhere lost in the multiverse because he got sent to the wrong dimension. Because the spider that bit him, that mixed with his DNA, was from Earth 42. And he ends up on Earth 42, not his dimension, not in his own dimension. So he figures that out once he starts glitching, as it's explained in these movies. You know, glitching in our reality is explained in the movies. So we don't know what sex. So we don't. We just know that's like a. So we know that's the stakes are high, and Miles may not. I don't know if Miles is going to arrive in time to save his dad or not. Is it because this ends on an abrupt note? We have to see the events whenever the third installment comes out. Or unless it gets canceled. So yeah, I love this movie, and I love both movies of Spider-Verse movies. And I love how in the Spider-Verse movies we feel the weight of Miles. We I really like how both Spider-Verse movies really do good job making you sympathize and bond together with Miles, you the audience. And I really grew attached to this version of Miles, and I enjoyed this version of Miles a lot. I enjoy the side characters more so in the first movie within the world of the Spider-Verse movies. I enjoy the side characters more so in the first movie than in the second movie, though. And I thought they were more developed and more, unique. They were more, it was like, not unique, that's the wrong word, what's the one I'm looking for? They were more fleshed out. The side characters I thought were. Most of them was but then again, these movies do have, the sequel does have more side characters than the first one did. So, maybe it has something to do with that there's more characters in the, the new characters that got introduced in the sequel for the side characters weren't that memorable, or that likable, or that memorable, or left, pretty much everyone in the Spice Society, almost everyone, with the exceptions of Gwen, Hobie, and Peter B. Parker, and I gotta admit, Spider-Man 2099, he kind of stood out a bit. He stood out a bit and left, and you remember him, I thought. And he was kind of cool. Granted, I will admit, I'm probably not the best judge for Spider-Man 2099 because I haven't looked at any of his actual main comic run. So I'm probably not the best judge on that, saying that 2099 Spider-Man's cool in this movie. And because the ones who have read Spider-Man 2099, I have listened to the comics on YouTube. Because some of them are YouTube site channels I listen to and follow along them, and I like their content, so I listen to that in my spare time when I'm not recording my video on my channel. Okay, so the ones who voice they are paying on Spider-Man 2099 that who are the fans of the comics. I'm not, because I haven't read any. So I can't say I am a fan of Spider-Man 2099 of the comics, but I would like to look at his comics now after looking at this movie, because he was kind of cool. You know, he was kind of a jerk to Miles and not letting him save his dad. And it said some meaning things to Miles, saying, basically, this was being kind of a jerk to Miles in this movie. I still end up liking him a bit, a little, kind of. Spider-Man 2099 and Miguel. I kind of want to see more of him in the last one of the next one, if the movie, whenever that comes out, it's the third installment, whenever it might come out, you know. And that's my final thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. Why give them both a solid 10 out of 10. Goodbye. Subscribe, hit the bell, and then hit the subscribe button in that order. And then hit the thumbs up if you like my content. Goodbye.